Huwag niyong ituring kapansanan o kakulangan ng pagiging bata. Be the positive change. Your age notwithstanding, your height or physical features notwithstanding, you can actually do something for the country. Right here, right now, and you yourself.
The future is in your hands now. Patapos na kami. Kayo na yung susunod. Pero sana hindi natin sayangin yung panahon na to para maging aktibong mga miyembro ng ating mga lipunan. Kasi yung lahat na contributions natin, yung advocacies natin, walang maliit. Yung lahat na advocacies natin, lahat yun mahalaga. Yung buhay na to, hindi lang to para sa atin, hindi lang to para sa pamilya natin, pero tayo, we have to understand that we all have responsibilities bigger than ourselves. Maraming umaasa sa atin.
Vote wisely. Make intelligent, rational choices because you are your own future. All we can do, our generation, is to show you by example. We must teach you by example to be dependable so that God, your country, and your family can depend on you. You are the next generation of leaders and citizens. I am banking on that. I'm betting my life on that as I have bet my life over and over again for the last 67 years.
Our leaders firmly believe in us. For them, our voice matters and that we are capable of inducing change in our society. Therefore, if they have faith in us, we should have faith in ourselves as well. So, we must know our roles, function, and standing in our society. Now, let us all witness all these youth as they answer questions and impart knowledge on disaster awareness, preparedness and management, and drug abuse.
So, number one question. So, what is the importance of disaster awareness, preparedness, and management in the Philippines? Do you think that the Philippines government effectively responds to the calamities? So, we all know that disasters strike in every area of the world, during every season, and in many different ways. That includes hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, fires, and tornadoes. And those are some examples of natural disasters that might leave you in need of some assistance. Non-profit organizations like the Red Cross are example of resources that can provide aid during disasters. So, disasters preparedness is the preventative measure taken to reduce the effects of a disaster on your property, family, and life. So, being prepared can save your property and get entire populations back normal faster than would be possible if you weren't prepared when the disaster strikes. So, when you break it down, disaster preparedness can save lives. And although it takes some time to plan ahead, but it will serve your entire family if you plan ahead.
So the question is, how can calamities affect the lives of every Filipinos in terms of their livelihood, emotional, and mental health? So I can say that it can really affect the lives of many Filipinos, especially those families who are more likely affected to the calamities like flooding caused by typhoon, El Nino, and El Nina. So example is the typhoon Ulysses in Cagayan who gave so much damage to the people there, and those area is known of farmers who relay their daily needs to their crop that they planted, and imagine how depressed they are because of their effort and expenses that they invest turns to zero because of the typhoon. So calamities has a big effect to the people who are affected of calamities.
What can you say about the resiliency of Filipinos in times of crisis? What are its advantages and disadvantages? Do you agree that resiliency is overused in the Philippines? So, being resilient is one of the perks of being a Filipino, and it's running in our blood. So, basically, in times of calamity, we are quickly to recover. But even though we are resilient, there are also advantages and disadvantages of it. So the advantages of it being resilient is that we Filipino can unite to create a remedy to the problem. However, on the other side, the disadvantages of our resilience is the speed which we transform trauma or bad experience into acceptance. Instead of solving problems, we simply cope or make or create a temporary remedy or wait for the problem to pass. So as I said earlier, that resilience is one of the nature of being Filipino. And I think we overuse, especially in times of crisis. I would like to end this with a quote of Maya Angelou. I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. Thank you.
As a youth, what do you think is your significant role in the time of crisis? What can you do to help and contribute to the society? So for me as a youth, we should be a good follower, not a burden to the society. For example, this time of pandemic that we are currently facing right now. Because of this pandemic, our country suffered from economic losses, crisis, and fast-growing rate of COVID cases. Our government really trying their best to minimize the ratio of people being affected the virus. They implemented protocols and also safety guidelines for us not to be contaminated. So as a youth, we should strictly follow such rule. We should follow all the instruction given by the government official because simply following the rule has a big impact in our society. And also, as a youth, my role in this time of crisis was to help participate in all activities and support the government program. As a youth, I try to be a good model to everyone in this time of crisis and to encourage everyone to maintain balanced food, to maintain balanced use food, water, and etc. As a youth, I try to inspire others that they never give up, even the times of hard and loss of poverty. So that's all. Thank you.
So, good day. My question is, why do you think some people abuse or become addicted to drugs? And if you are strongly influenced by your peers to try drugs, what will be your response? Um, as for me, peer pressure are one of the reasons why people get to try or get addicted to drugs, because um, if you are in a community or society where a lot of people have tried drugs, then you get influenced by them, and your future will slowly get ruined, because drugs are not good for our body, especially in our mind. If you use drugs one time, then you will seek for it every day, because drugs is like a chocolate that if we taste them, we will seek it for our life. So as it's like a food that we will not be able to live properly if we don't eat it, or in drugs we don't take it. So that's it. That's a drugs. So the second question is, if you are influenced by your peers to try drugs, then I will strongly decline it. Why? Because my father is a policeman and he will shoot me in my head if I use it, and I will go to jail. No, I will no longer go to jail because I'm dead.
So if I try to use drugs, then my future and my dream will be ruined and my life will be in mess. So even if I lose my friends, I will really try to persuade myself to decline it because it's not good for me. It's not good for my dreams. It's not good for my future. And difficult as it may, but drugs are the problems that is not easy to solve. So thank you for listening and goodbye.
So here's my question. Do you believe that good education can help eradicate drug abuse and addiction? Next is, as a youth, how will you restate the importance of good education to a teen drug abuser? As what the famous Nelson Mandela has quoted, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So yes, I do believe that good education can help eradicate drug abuse and addiction. Because if you are academically active or if you have a positive relationship with school, you will feel a greater sense of belongingness. You will feel a sense of attachment, and that you won't have to resort to the temporary benefits of drugs just to escape reality, because finally you have created and experienced a meaningful reality. So let's put it this way. In the context of school, you will be given a lot of opportunities to build a relationship with others, to experience a sense of attachment, to develop your thirst for knowledge, and to be inclined in your performance, which all will help you reduce your potential for drug abuse. And also, information or the basic knowledge is not the only thing being taught in school, but also a stronger mindset, morality, and values. And if you have learned those things, you will be able to think better for yourself. And if you think better for yourself, you will keep yourself away from harm. And you will realize that there are things which are more important than drugs. And that is by achieving all your life goals, to have a decent life, to build a family in the future, and to finally set yourself in the right path. And also in school, you will realize the importance of home, the importance of having a relationship with your friends, with your family, and you will realize that that relationship is more important than your relationship with drugs, which did nothing but to destroy your life. As a youth, I will restate the importance of good education to a teen drug abuser by opening his mind metaphorically. So first, I would tell him to think of the next 40 years of his life. If he will continue to use drugs, what would happen to him? What would happen to him in 40 years, and not just in 2 years, because a lot of things can happen in a span of 40 years. It's either he land a job or become jobless. It's either he build his own family or suffer in loneliness. It's either he earn honest money or resort to crime because he has no choice. And all of those things depends on what he do now. Next is that I will ask him what kind of future does he want. The darker one or the brighter one, where he can live a decent life, where he can become sober and build his own family. And of course, he will choose the best option, and that is by improving himself. And improving himself is only possible if he will develop his character, his identity, his morality, and if he will stop abusing illegal drugs. And improving himself is only possible through good education. So that is all.